Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true.
Jamaican man charged with Canadian wife's murder in Clarendon. A 28-year-old man has been charged with murder following the death of his wife in Portland Cottage, Clarendon in May. Charged is Roy Palmer, a fisherman of Portland Cottage in the parish. Dead is 28-year-old Jada Whitehead of Mars, Toronto, Canada, and Cherries Heights, Portland Cottage, Clarendon. Reports from the Lioneltown police are that about 4 p.m. on May 12, Palmer and his spouse had a dispute that got physical. It is reported that Palmer threw a fan at her, hitting her in the face, after which he slammed her head into a wall several times. The police were alerted, and on their arrival, Whitehead was seen lying in a bed unresponsive. She was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Palmer was taken into custody and initially charged with assault occasioning grievous bodily harm. Following extensive investigation and consultation with personnel from the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution and the Crime Office, his charge was upgraded to murder, the police stated. Whitehead, who was a school board employee in Toronto, was reportedly visiting Palmer to celebrate their wedding anniversary. Shortman charged with murder of G.C. Foster VP Gibbs Williams. A 40-year-old man is the second person to be charged with murder following the shooting death of Gibbs Williams, the vice principal of J.C. Foster College on Megan Way, Portmore, St. Catherine, on October 6. Ordain Watson, otherwise called Shortman, of Dove Street, Kingston 13, was charged with murder, aiding and abetting robbery with aggravation, being a participant in a criminal organization, making use of a firearm to commit a felony, possession of prohibited firearm and unauthorized possession of ammunition, 5 days after charges were laid against his alleged 21-year-old accomplice, Jerome Hales. Reports are that about 12:15 p.m., Williams, 55, was in the process of leaving a hospital complex when he was attacked by the suspects and shot. The police were alerted, and he was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. Following an investigation, Watson was arrested and charged after he was interviewed in the presence of his attorney on Tuesday, October 17. Teen girl accused of robbing in-driver of motor vehicle. A 17-year-old girl has been charged after she and 2 men allegedly robbed an in-driver of a motor car on Arnold Road, Kingston 4 in August. The teen, who is from Venus Avenue, Kingston 17 address, has been charged with robbery with aggravation. Reports are that about 1 p.m., the teen, along with 2 other men, requested pickup from the area using the in-drive application. It is reported that the taxi operator, on arrival of the request, was robbed of his Toyota Probox motor car. The matter was reported to the police. She was subsequently arrested and charged after a question and answer session in the presence of an attorney, and was positively identified by the complainant during a visible identification parade. Wheelchair-bound man dies in Patrick City house fire. Firefighters responded to 2 separate incidents in the corporate area between Wednesday night and Thursday morning. The fires broke out in Patrick City and on Spanish Town Road in St. Andrew. Firefighters are investigating the causes of the fire. Police report that 1 man died in the fire in Patrick City. He has been identified as 60-year-old Paul Simmet of Beaconfield, Patrick Simmet, Kingston 20. Reports from the Hunts Bay Police are that about 9 p.m., Simmet, who was wheelchair-bound, was at home with relatives when the fire was seen coming from the premises. One of the relatives called for help, however, no one was able to assist Simmet out of the burning house. The fire department was contacted, and after the cooling down operation, the burnt remains of Simmet were discovered. In the meantime, it's been reported that several customers attached to telecommunications company Digicel have been affected by a fire on Spanish Town Road. Pan-African lawyer Bert Samuels suggests that French embassy foot bill to cater for Haitian refugees. Pan-American lawyer Bert Samuels has suggested that the French embassy in Jamaica should foot the bill for catering to the needs of Haitian refugees who flee death and destruction in their homeland. Mr. Samuels also called on the Jamaican government to abide by the humanitarian, Judeo-Christian principle and provide refuge for Haitians who landed on Jamaican shores instead of sending them back. His comments came in the wake of reports of a 3rd batch of Haitians who arrived in Portland on Sunday. He joined other human rights lobbyists and advocate groups in condemning the action of the government, which they say contravenes international laws that Jamaica is signatory to. Mr. Samuels also pointed out that Jamaica should be more understanding of the plight being faced by Haitians who share a similar African heritage, as well as the impact of slavery and colonialism. He further stated that France is partly responsible for Haiti's predicament. He said Jamaica should not turn away those seeking refuge amidst a humanitarian crisis.
There are international conventions on refugees. We can't just return people from where they are coming. We need to investigate whether they will be mistreated on their return. And that's one of the principles of the convention that we have signed to for refugees. So we're supposed to inquire of them, what is the state? What are their fears? And we're supposed to investigate whether it is a genuine fear that they would be persecuted if they go home, if their country is such in a volatile state. And if we find that it is, we have an international obligation to keep them and treat them as brothers and sisters. So it is a reciprocal agreement between countries that persons who fear persecution are granted a stay in another country. If it were not so, then oppressive governments would be able to contain its population, and people would have to suffer in failed states. The Haitian state has failed. The Haitians are our brothers and sisters. They were kidnapped from the same place. All of us were kidnapped. But their history is worse than ours. The French have stolen by way of reparations, bled that economy to nothing, and therefore their desperate state is really at the cause of European enslavement and colonialism. And therefore, as our sisters and brothers, we should not just be throwing them out. Added to that, we're supposed to be a Christian country. Why do we do this to people? If things were good in Haiti, would they be coming here? Are we going over there? It means, therefore, that it must be the situation in that country, which is internationally accepted as a deteriorated state and a failed state, because of how it has taken batterings over the last decades from the Americans, the French. Everyone has ganged up against Haiti, and this is the fallout of all of that. The French embassy in Jamaica should be made, if there's one here, to account for these here and to fund their stay here. They are responsible for Haiti's impoverishment. Would you turn your brother and sister out of your home? I wouldn't. So I'm prepared to keep them here. What's so wrong? They have skills, no doubt. And they are not people coming here to give trouble. They are here to work hard. Why don't we find jobs for them that our Jamaicans don't want to do? We need social workers to move in and look after them. I know it might open the floodgates, but everyone is turning them back. The United States turned them back. What should we do? This is a human crisis.
Man held nearly a year after allegedly stabbing man to death over rent. A 34-year-old man has been slapped with murder charges after he allegedly stabbed a man to death during a dispute in Kingston in December 2022. Charged is Cedric Powell, otherwise called Perry, or Lola Boy, a party contractor of Bloomsbury Road in Kingston 10. Dead is 36-year-old Patrick Newby of Venables Crescent, Kingston 11. Reports from the Hunt Bay Police are that about 7:30 a.m., Powell and Newby had an argument about rent when Powell used a knife to inflict a wound to Newby's chest. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. On October 8, 2023, about 11 a.m., an intelligence-led operation was done at Otres Bay Beach by police personnel attached to the St. Anne's Bay Division when Powell was seen and arrested. He was subsequently charged after a question and answer interview.
Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification